Hey everybody, it's Robert Klein from mymortgageterminator.ca. So today what I'm going to do is talk about a fixed rate mortgage versus a variable. Now I get a lot of emails from other different mortgage brokers out there, and pretty much what I can tell is whenever the interest rates are generally rising, they're going to tell everybody to go and switch their variable rate and lock in before the rates get too high. So they're going to tell everybody to lock in. Then rates get high, then all of a sudden everything starts going down. Then they're gonna say, hey look, you know that high locked in rate you have? I bet I can get it cheaper, I can get you a variable, make the lower payment, save money and interest. So now you go variable. Then the rates start to increase again, and then you get another email in your inbox saying, hey look man, I think it's time for us to go back to locked in. And in this process, the mortgage broker is able to acquire multitudes of commissions, and the whole process continues and continues and continues. So instead of fear-based selling, what I'm going to do is use math and strategy. Let's make sure that this camera is properly set. Alright, so let's set some parameters. Today we know it's August 5th, 2010. The prime rate is at 2.75%. 5-year fixed mortgage. The best one I know of is 3.89. Now the best variable is prime minus 0.6. So let's do a genius calculation. 2.75. 2.75 minus 0.6 equals 2.15%. Alright, now let's first define what a variable rate is. A variable rate is a mortgage that changes with prime. And when the Bank of Canada changes their rates, your mortgage changes also. So it's variable, and it is variable. A 5-year fixed mortgage, most people think it is a fixed mortgage. In reality, as far as I'm considered, it is a variable mortgage that renews every 5 years. Because after the 5th year, you're going to go get a new mortgage at the current rate. So it's a variable that gets fixed every 5 years. A variable that is fixed every 5 years. Hope you like my spelling or my writing. Alright, so what does this mean? A lot of people talk about, it's safe to be in a fixed rate over the 5-year period, or in general. So let's do the mathematics on that. Let's assume someone has a $300,000 mortgage, and they have 35 years. They're planning to pay it off. So as they pay it off over time, the amount being owed eventually goes down to zero. Here's year 0 and here's year 5. So let us calculate $300,000 mortgage at 3.89%, 35 years. Payment is $1,308 a month. Now they're paying that $1,308 a month. The rate is fixed. Everything's nice. Everything is safe. Question is, they're going to renew on the 5th year. How much mortgage are they going to owe out of that 300 grand? So what we're going to do is we're going to use number 60. If you're wondering what 60 is from, I calculate everything in terms of months. So that's 5 years times 12 months. That's 60 months. So N is my number N. Then I'm going to calculate my future value, and the amount of money that I owe after paying $1,308 a month after 5 years is $277,000, or let's say $278. Or how I like to look at it, if I divide it by 300,000, it's going to give me the percentage of the mortgage I actually have left that I originally started with. So after 5 years left, I am still owing 92.6% of my mortgage. So what this means is, if interest rates ever did increase dramatically, when it comes to the 5th year and I come to renew, I'm still exposed to 92.6% of the money that I owe. So even though you think you're getting a fixed rate, you're really not. That's the point of that graph. Now, what's the strategy? Let's say that this is a 3.89%. This is 0%. This is year 0. This is year 5. So we go get a variable mortgage of 2.05%. Hopefully you can see that. It looks a little bit gibberish. So in order for this 5-year fixed rate to actually make more money or save more money than the variable, what's going to have to happen? So before we do that, let's first define the monthly payments. $1,308 a month here. Oops, I gotta shift the camera over. $1,308 a month there. At 2.05%, the monthly payment oops, that is totally incorrect. Oh, I know why. $1,000 a month. So here's I'm just going to do a linear example or a straight line. Let's assume in this 2.5 year mark, the halfway between this term, this 2.05%, the rate increases eventually to 3.89. Now, in order for us to this rate to actually make us money, or just to break even, this rate would actually have to increase this difference on this side. So 2.05% to 3.89. Oh, sorry. I'll do that again. 3.89 minus 2.05. 1.84% difference there. So now we're going to have to increase it by 1.84. So we're going to have 3.89 or 5.73% right here. So our rate has to go from 2.05 to 5.73 over a 5-year period for this to be equal to the fixed rate. If this went higher, then that fixed rate would have saved us money. But everything below makes us money. And there's a lot more below than there is above. But let's build a defense or build a strategy towards this to protect ourselves against it. So if we know we're going to go get a variable rate, and we have the option of only paying $1,000 a month, what I suggest, if this is a question for you, is pay the $1,308 a month, put that difference of $308 into a bank account or a TFSA, or not an RSP but a TFSA. What that will allow you to do is you're able to build up a cash reserve. So if any time in the future that this actual payment increases past this $1,308 amount, or the 3.89%, you'd have a big pool of money to be able to carry you through for the rest of those years. Now, this is in general a good strategy, because if the rates did stay low, what that means is you'd actually be able to pocket that money for yourself, and instead of going to the banks, it goes to you. Now, let's take it to another step. Obviously, you're listening to Mortgage Terminator, and Mortgage Terminator does not do traditional things. So here we go. Most people do a 5-year fixed, and then they do a variable. Those are the combinations. Mortgage Terminator does something else. Now, if you've seen my video, the lowest mortgage payment in Canada, it explains it. So I would look at a $1,308 a month payment, And I would say that's a bit too high. The lowest payment that I know of to get is this: 300,000 prime minus 0.6 interest only. So that's 2.15% interest only. So I take 300,000 times by 0.0215. That's my annual interest cost divided by 12. It's $537 a month. So my mortgage, or your mortgage too, if you call me, could be $537 a month. My cash savings, my cash savings get to be $771 a month. In a year, that's like $9,000. So if interest rates ever started to increase, I'd have a huge pool of cash that I could get access to protect myself from that increase. And I'd probably protect myself above and beyond the other 5 years, or after the 5 years, when I come to renew at a higher rate. So that's the mathematics. If you're able to put the money away, you actually take a look again in this program. There's a lot more defenses and security going with a variable and protecting that cash than there is doing the traditional 5-year fixed. Now, what's going to happen to most people, well, at least that I know, most people actually don't stick around for the 5 years on the mortgage. What happens is they end up getting a combination of two things. They end up consuming, so they have credit card debt, lines of credit, student loans, car payments, etc. And equity eventually increases in their property, so they decide to break their mortgage, take out money out of the property, and increase and basically pay off all those debts, which in most circumstances is a relatively good idea. I'm not going to go into the specifics right now, but here's the problem with having a 5-year fixed rate. By doing that, you get exposed to, now there's a chance you get exposed to something called interest differential fee, and that's the fee to break your mortgage. This is a big fee. Those are the fees that you see on the news that can cost you like $10,000 to $25,000 just for a normal mortgage. I won't go into how that works here, but a 5-year fixed, you're going to be exposed to that. If you got the variable, you'll be exposed to a 3-month interest penalty. So here, the interest differential fee can be like $5,000 to $25,000, even higher, depending on the mortgage amount. A 3-month interest penalty, just to give you an example here, if you're looking at a $300,000 mortgage, times that by 0.0215, the interest you're paying, that's the annual expense of interest, $6,450 divided by 12, that's your monthly, $537, times it by 3 months. So that person's penalty in this scenario would be $1,600. So those are my 2 cents when it comes to fixed rate versus variable. There's actually a lot more than just this. Feel free to give me a call if you like at 778-896-6732. Or if you want, go to my webpage at mymortgageterminator.ca. My email is rob@mymortgageterminator.ca. And also, if you're on Facebook, research or search Mortgage Terminator and you'll see my group. I got a bunch more videos, and hope that helps everybody. Thanks.